Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Victor suggests an unlikely alliance, and Jack reels as Billy reveals Kane's grand scheme. At Crimson Lights, Chelsea welcomes Adam and they discuss Connor's OCD and how wonderful it is that he feels normal again. Adam says that his father wants to make someone's life a living hell, so things don't feel regular at work. Victor is after Kane, and someone might get caught in the crossfire. Chelsea finds out. Adam informs Billy that he might be siding with Kane, not just against their family but also against his own. It was in France that Victor saw them come together. Billy cannot win this war. He may be aware of Kane's plans, therefore someone needs to call his bluff. Victor is forced to face the possibility of Billy's involvement in an attack on their family after Adam tells him about it. Chelsea. Although Chelsea acknowledges Victor's right to defend himself and pursue Kane, she will require evidence of Billy's involvement before approving an assault on her ex. Adam is unsure about how he would obtain evidence. He must attack before it's too late. Chesley believes she can persuade Billy to tell her the truth. She can persuade her ex-boyfriend not to use deceit by speaking with reason. She always defends her ex, which irritates Adam because she doesn't see him for who he truly is. Billy wants blood. Phyllis and Kane dance. Victor calls Kane at the ranch and makes fun of him for wanting to go to bed early. This evening, come visit me at the ranch. When Kane gives Phyllis a drink in his suite, she asks what they should do next. Curiosity killed the cats, he said. I've already used up my 9 lives, she jokes. Kane raises a glass to an intriguing and surprising partnership. The Kane-Phyllis. As they sip, Phyllis praises Kane's Negroni and talks about how she came to know him. I'm definitely drawn to her assets, he says. Phyllis warns that no one can play her and get away with it as they vocally argue about manipulation. She has seen far too much use. Kane challenges her about honesty and she balks. Kane tells her that she passed his exam, but he also says he will keep testing her at every turn. Phyllis understands Kane's reluctance to put his trust in others. When she brings up Billy firing her, Kane responds that the Abbott will have his own challenges to overcome. Phyllis inquires as to Kane's level of trust. According to Kane, his father taught him that trust is the foundation of all scams. It's about him offering his to her. She determines they want something from each other after asking if he is now deceiving her. They will need to have faith in each other, Kane says. Phyllis inquires as to which unfortunate person they will first confide in. Kane smiles mischievously at her. The Kane-Phyllis. They both agree that this will be enjoyable. She takes offense when Kane refers to her as an employee. She should stay in her lane, he cautions. She avoids using such corporate lingo. Let's talk like adults. Kane wants her to break into Jabot's servers using her technical expertise. What about Winters, Chancellor, and Newman Enterprises? When they enter, what will they do? Phyllis asks. We're going to do a little shopping, he says with a smile. What is on Kane's shopping list? Asks Phyllis. When they're inside, he'll tell her the specifics. He is currently meeting with Victor. Phyllis inquires as to whether he would like her to go with him. Kane doesn't believe he would value it. The ranch is where it is. He is cautioned by Phyllis. He won't undervalue him, Kane says. Is Billy going to reveal Kane's secret? Billy gets to society, where Jack is sitting at the bar, perplexed that Kane hasn't contacted him regarding a buyout yet. Jack inquires as to whether Billy has changed his mind and acknowledges that his brother has slightly wounded him. Billy admits that he hasn't made up his mind about proceeding with the buyout yet. Jack probes to learn more about his brother's situation and inquires as to whether he has met with Kane. Billy informs him that Jill ruined their meeting. She was aware that Kane was Dumas, he admits. He doesn't believe she knew before she sold Victor Chancellor. Jack finds out that the talk didn't go well. She is angry that he didn't contact her over chance, but he believed that Kane should be in charge since he was accountable. Jack, the situation is untenable. Jack notices this weighing and inquires as to how Jill learnt of Kane's nickname. Billy laughs that she visited Colin on his deathbed at the chateau. He is upset because his mother chose Kane above him. Billy keeps up the pity party by griping that Jill is more interested in conman Colin than he is. Before Billy laments that Kane has once again taken over his mother's life, The conversation momentarily shifts to John Abbott. Jack is clearly upset about this. Billy will continue to fulfill his obligations. Chancellor will return, whether or not Kane is present. Jack feels that he is aware of Kane's scheme. Billy does. And a really unpleasant situation is likely to arise in Genoa City. Kane is making significant moves, Billy warns. He wants Newman and Winters in addition to Jabot and Chancellor. Jack spins around. Billy claims that he will combine everything under a single heading. Jack uses the cane or train metaphor to indicate that they will need to derail his schemes. Billy cautions that he is not alone. A soldier is supporting him. Phyllis is here. Billy, Jack, Y&R. Jack is furious that Kane has the resources and the gall to make this play. Jack questions his motivation for informing Billy that Jabot is a target. Billy claims that he presented him a compelling argument against it. He could have kept him in the dark if that conversation hadn't gone as poorly as it did with Jill. Please tell me I am wrong, Jack screams. If you wanted to regain Chancellor, wouldn't you sell out Jabot and your family? Can Kane be swayed by Victor? Kane is impressed by the renovation at the ranch, but Victor only wants to know whether he has thought about the suggestion he gave to him in Nice. You want to know if I need your help taking over Jabot? Kane says. Victor claims he only wants Chancellor, which Kane reminds him of. Victor knows he has acquired a lot of real estate and doesn't trust him. Kane claims he can't be angry with him for that, but he might be angry at Nicky's desire to exchange Nick's freedom for his position as Chancellor. Victor claims it was a poor move, caught off guard but not displaying it. It was worth a try, Kane shrugs. Victor wants him to put more effort into capturing Jabot than Chancellor. He'll support it, and the two of them will defeat the Abbotts. Billy's buttons are pushed by Phyllis. Billy tells Jack he didn't tell Kane to go to hell when they get back to society. He needed to weigh his alternatives. Jack is shocked that he considered selling away Jabot. Billy assures his brother that he would always support his family. That makes Jack happy, and he encourages Billy to let Kane know he's in. They can keep their families safe with him inside. He will continue to be an Abbott Communications investor. Jack apologizes for his disagreement with Jill. Billy understands that Jack has his back no matter what. Kane was informed by Billy that he could buy Jack out. Jack will take care of that. Kane will be brought down from within by them. Billy tells Phyllis that he was just telling Jack about his talk with Jill when she shows up. Jack quickly leaves the area. Phyllis, Billy, Jack. Billy gets needled by Phyllis because she believes he is selling Kane out. Billy is adamant about being on Team Kane. She claims that because he doesn't believe Billy can commit, Kane no longer wants him. He has mommy issues, too. According to Phyllis, Kane asked her to inform Billy that the offer is no longer open. She clarifies that there cannot be a weak link on the leadership team. Billy believes that when he left the suite, she exploited the situation. Is this retaliation for her release? Her denial is sneered at by Phyllis. Billy tells her that in the clinic, he saved her life. According to her, Nick did. Billy asks if she will take over his family's business in return. She tells him that it's finished and that he can leave. We'll see, says Billy abruptly. As he takes off, she smiles. Billy, Phyllis. The crossroads of Chelsea. Adam informs Chelsea that Billy has malicious intent at Crimson Lights. He falsely claimed to have moved on from Chancellor, but this is untrue. It all comes down to retribution. It's time for her to abandon her loyalty to him and support her family. Chelsea's day had started like any other at Crimson Lights, but the warm scent of espresso and the comfort of a familiar corner table didn't soften the unease she felt the moment Adam slid into the seat opposite her. He looked sharper than usual in his dark jacket, but his eyes had that restless gleam she'd come to associate with bad news. They exchanged a few pleasantries about Connor, his progress with OCD, the relief in knowing he was starting to feel normal again, and for a brief moment, the tension between them thawed. Then Adam leaned forward, lowering his voice just enough to make her pulse pick up. Things at work don't feel normal, he said grimly. My father's got his sights set on making someone's life a living hell. Chelsea's first thought was that Victor's target must be an old enemy, someone like Jack or even Billy, but Adam's next words made her blink. He's going after Kane. And trust me, someone could get caught in the crossfire. Chelsea tilted her head, trying to read between the lines. Kane had always been a slippery figure, capable of charming his way into almost any deal, But Victor's obsession with him hinted at a threat much bigger than a few bad investments. Adam, sensing her curiosity, didn't leave her guessing long. It's worse than you think. Billy may be aligning himself with Kane not just against my family, but against his own. Her eyebrows shot up. That makes no sense. But Adam's jaw tightened. Victor saw them in France heads together, plotting. This is not a war Billy can win. Somebody needs to call his bluff before he drags more people into the fire. And I think Kane's up to something bigger than we've seen so far. She folded her arms, considering. If Billy really is working with Kane, Victor has every right to defend himself. But before you start another war, I need proof Billy's involved. Her tone was firm, and Adam didn't like it. I don't have time to chase proof. I need to strike first, cut them off before they gain any ground. Chelsea shook her head. Let me talk to him. He trusts me. I can be a voice of reason and convince him to back off. Adam gave her a look that was equal parts disbelief and irritation. You always defend him, Chelsea. You never see him for who he really is. Billy's not interested in peace, he's out for blood. While Adam and Chelsea were sparring over loyalty, another game was already in motion across town. At the ranch, Victor stood in front of the fireplace, swirling a glass of brandy as he dialed Kane. Come see me tonight, he ordered without preamble. I promise it'll be worth your while. Kane, lounging in his hotel suite, smiled faintly before hanging up. He turned to Phyllis, who was curled on his sofa with a glass of wine. Time for another round of fun, he said, handing her a fresh Negroni. Phyllis eyed him knowingly. Fun? Huh? Well, curiosity killed the cat. Kane smirked. Good thing you've already burned through your 9 lives. They toasted to an exciting and unexpected collaboration, and Phyllis studied him over the rim of her glass. So, she drawled, was it my charm, my computer skills, or my general refusal to play nice that won you over? Kane's eyes glinted. Let's just say I'm drawn to all your assets. She arched a brow at the word choice, but didn't flinch. Careful, Kane. I've been used before, and it never ends well for the other guy. He leaned closer. Honesty test, are you playing me? She laughed, low and sharp. You'll never know. Kane nodded approvingly. Good answer. Just remember, trust is the heart of any good con. And I'm trusting you. She shot back. Or you're conning me right now. He didn't deny it. They shifted from verbal sparring to the matter at hand. I need you to hack Jabot's servers, Kane said casually, as if asking her to pick up milk. Phyllis's lips curled into a smirk. How about Newman, Chancellor, or Winters while I'm at it? Maybe, he said, but first Jabot. Once we're inside, I'll tell you what we're shopping for. She tried to read his expression, but he was already grabbing his coat. Victor's waiting, he explained. She leaned back, feigning nonchalance, but there was a glimmer of caution in her eyes. Don't underestimate him. Kane's grin was quick and confident. I never do. At society, Billy slid onto the bar stool beside Jack. The elder Abbott was sipping club soda, but his expression was sharp with curiosity. Still no word from Kane about the buyout, Jack remarked. I'm starting to wonder if you've had a change of heart. Billy hesitated, then admitted, haven't decided yet. Jack, sensing a deeper story, pressed. You met with him, didn't you? Billy sighed. Meeting got derailed thanks to Jill. Turns out she already knew Kane was Dumas. I don't think she knew before she sold Chancellor to Victor, though. Jack frowned, trying to piece the timeline together. And how did she find out? Billy chuckled bitterly. She went to see Colin on his deathbed. Guess Mom's always had a soft spot for con men. Jack studied his brother's face. This is eating at you. Billy didn't deny it. Kane's taken over her life again, Jack. And she's acting like I'm the problem. But I'll do what I have to do, get Chancellor back with or without him. Jack's instincts prickled. Sounds like you know more than you're saying. What's Kane's plan? Billy's jaw tightened, but he finally spilled. He's not just going after Jabot and Chancellor. He wants Newman and Winters to wrap them all under one umbrella. Jack reeled. That's insane. The resources alone he's got, Phyllis. Billy cut in. She's all in. Jack's expression hardened. So he has the money, the nerve, and Phyllis as his wingman. Wonderful. And why would he tell you Jabot's a target? Billy shrugged. Because if my conversation with Jill hadn't gone south, I might have been tempted to keep you in the dark. Jack leaned in, voice low and edged. Please tell me you're not thinking of selling out your family to get Chancellor back. Billy bristled. I'm not. But I had to consider my options. Jack exhaled, relieved. Then here's what you do: tell Kane you're in. Get inside. Keep me informed. We'll take him down from within. Meanwhile, at the ranch, Kane admired Victor's remodel but knew better than to waste time on small talk. You want to know if I'm ready to take over Jabot? He said bluntly. Victor didn't flinch. You say you only want Chancellor. I don't believe you. Kane chuckled. I can't help it if I've made a few real estate investments. Victor's gaze sharpened. I also know you tried to trade Chancellor for Nick's freedom. Kane shrugged. Worth a shot. But Victor wasn't interested in side deals. Focus on Jabot. You have the resources. I have the influence. Together, we crush the Abbotts. Kane tilted his head, weighing the offer, but didn't commit. Back at Society, Jack was laying the groundwork for a counterstrike when Phyllis strolled in. Her eyes flicked from Jack to Billy, and she smiled like a cat who'd found two mice in the same trap. Jack made a quick exit, leaving Billy to face her alone. Kane doesn't want you anymore, she said breezily. Thinks you can't commit. Also, mommy issues. Billy narrowed his eyes. He told you to tell me that. She didn't answer directly. Offers off the table. Leadership team can't have weak links. Billy leaned forward. You took advantage of me leaving that suite. Payback for firing you. Phyllis's smirk deepened. You flatter yourself. He reminded her he'd once saved her life. She shot back. Nick did. The tension between them crackled, but she ended the conversation with a dagger disguised as a smile. It's over, Billy. You're out. He stood abruptly. We'll see. She watched him go, looking far too pleased. Later, at Crimson Lights, Adam was still trying to convince Chelsea. Billy lied about moving on from Chancellor. This is all payback, Chelsea. You need to stop defending him and start siding with your family. She sat there, torn between loyalty to her son's father and the harsh truth that Adam's warning might not be paranoia this time. Somewhere across town, Jack was replaying Billy's words, Victor was weighing the benefits of using Kane as a blunt instrument, and Phyllis was booting up her laptop, ready to crack into Jabot's defenses. In Genoa City, alliances shifted as quickly as the wind, and by the end of the night, one thing was clear: Kane's grand plan had rattled every major player, and the war lines were being drawn. Chelsea stirred her coffee, the tiny swirl of cream dissolving into a murky pattern that mirrored her thoughts. Adam was watching her too closely, as if trying to catch the exact moment she would make the choice he wanted. You think Kane's the problem, she said finally. But what if Billy's the one you should really be worried about? He doesn't just make deals, he makes messes. And he always thinks he can clean them up later. Adam leaned back in his chair, lips curling into a humorless smile. Exactly. Which is why I'm not going to wait for him to create another one that drags the Newmans into the fallout. He tapped his phone on the table like a gavel, signaling that his mind was already made up. Across town, in his suite, Kane returned from the ranch with a faintly smug air. Victor had been predictably aggressive, pushing the Jabot angle hard, but Kane had given just enough to keep the door open without committing himself fully. Now, leaning against the minibar, he poured a fresh drink and let the conversation replay in his mind. Victor wanted an alliance, fine. That didn't mean Kane had to surrender control. The trick, as his father had drilled into him, was to keep every ally thinking they were the one in charge. Phyllis emerged from the bedroom, laptop tucked under one arm. So, she said lightly, did the mustache offer you the keys to the kingdom? Kane smirked. Something like that. He's ready to back me if I go after Jabot first. She tilted her head, intrigued. And are you? He didn't answer directly, which was answer enough. She set the laptop down on the desk, fingers already itching to type. Then I guess we better make sure we can actually get in before we start picking out office furniture. Meanwhile, at Jabot, Jack had retreated to his office after the run-in at society, pacing in front of his desk. Billy's revelation about Kane's umbrella plan had set every nerve on edge. It wasn't just the scope of Kane's ambition, it was the precision. This wasn't a scattershot takeover attempt. It was calculated, with the right people in the right positions, and Jack didn't like how close to the bullseye Phyllis now stood. When Billy called a few minutes later, Jack didn't bother with pleasantries. "You're sure about all of this?" he asked. Billy's voice was steady. "Positive. And if we want a shot at stopping him, I have to keep my seat at his table."